Hi, love. Hello and welcome to Cocreative Healing Journey. My name is Greta. I am a healer, and this video is going to be about the collective energies at play in November 2023. So, in general, Spirit is talking about November as a month where wherever we ourselves are going to be reaching higher, wherever we ourselves are going to be seeking improvement, progress, amelioration, some momentum, some forward movement, wherever we are moving towards greater, bigger, better, truer, Spirit is going to show up with lots of help, lots of support, lots of joy also in co-creating with us this kind of movement forward. And so, my love, we're going to talk about that in this video. We're going to talk about the energy. We're going to talk about the main themes. Spirit will have some advice for us, and then we'll wrap it all up at the end. And I also want to mention that if you are watching this video at a later time than November 2023, that is absolutely okay, because then it just means that these energies, these dynamics are showing up for you in your life, right? So wherever you're reaching higher, Spirit wants to help you, and you're here to hear more about how to co-create that kind of unified effort. And so, love, that's all it is for now. Let's start with the energy. So the energy of November is coming through in a way that is very, very potent and very, very powerful. I have here a deck called the Earth Warriors deck. So without further ado, I'm just going to draw cards and see how Spirit wants to talk to us about it. But of course, we have an 11/11 gate in November. We are fresh off the eclipse in Taurus, which ended the Taurus Scorpio eclipse cycle. So that's 18 months wrapping up, that's 18 years wrapping up. So there's a lot of how do I put this, there's a lot of power in the air. There's a lot of potential that wants to go somewhere, that wants to become something, that wants to be used. And so it's very much about where you want to use it. Where do you want to be purposeful? Where do you want to be driven? Where do you want to reach higher? Where do you want bigger, better, and truer? And that is where Spirit is going to show up. So let's have these two cards and see what they are. We have got Palik Mana, Medicine of the Butterfly Kachina. Love it. Love it. And we've got, no, this way. We've got Pachamama, she with the Andean Emerald Heart. And there's the dynamic. There is literally the dynamic. This is you. This is you. Healing, transformed, elevating, working at a very, very different frequency, whether you're aware of it or not. And this is Gaia. This is the universe showing up in its own form, in its own way. So we're going to do both, right? Let's start with you. And my love, Spirit is saying, whether you know it or not, you are energetically renewed. You've been through a process. There was a lot of purification in October. And if you look back to October and the issues that you were moving through, and there would have been more than necessarily one area. So it could be physical issues, it could be heart center issues, it could be mental health issues, it could be issues in the social realm, financial issues, right? So it kind of is multidimensional. It's showing up as multidimensional healing, just as this butterfly has tons of different colors. You've been through a process, especially in October, but going back longer than that, of renewal, of upliftment, of transformation, and you are energetically different today. I'm recording this on November 1st, so you are energetically different on November 1st than you were on October 31st. It just is. And it's very much about not the date, but the, how do I put this? It's the reality. Spirit is showing me like how there is a time for everything and a space for everything. And November is the space in which you know that you're renewed. So even if you were renewed in October, you were still in that process of purification. It's not about a date on the wall. It's much more about a time when, oh, okay, now I know this, and now we move into it, and now we do something about it and something with it. But step one is, of course, for you to know and recognize that you have changed and you've grown and you have evolved. And so Spirit is going to help you. The universe is going to help you. Do you see how many different animals there are here, and people? And we even have some ancestors showing up here. Hi, hello. The posse's here. And so that's your tribe, actually. That's an actual tribe. But they're here, they're showing up. And so there are so many different energies at play. And in the same way, there are lots of different realms and areas in your life where you're going to be having these experiences in November showing you how you're different. I feel like November wants to be a month of calibration, wants to be a month to really help you understand how you've changed and you've grown and you've evolved into something higher, into someone bigger, better, and truer. And I feel like it's your being, it's your spiritual energy, it's your soul energy, it's your human energy. Multidimensional change and evolution has unfolded within you, and so multidimensional experiences are going to show up. So this can be in different realms: friendship, work, family, finances, your health, the world, also what's going on at a global stage. Lots and lots will be manifesting so that you can see it, but it's going to manifest in a way where the two remain united. There is no separation, Spirit is saying. So whatever you're showing up in the world, for you to know that it is a reflection is basically that you're going to start seeing healing. Where you've healed within, it's going to start healing without. As within, so without. As within, so without. As within, so without. So that November is not just a month about here and now, let's reach higher, but it's also about a month about when you have been reaching higher. Yesterday, last month, last year, in times before, where you have reached higher, and maybe you didn't have the manifestation of that coming yet, but November, it is coming, and it is going to come in loud. Spirit is saying it is really going to make itself known. So let's get one more card, this one. And it is Kaitiaki, guardian of the Papatuanuku. I love this. I love this energy. Do I read the text? I do read the text, which is why I have the booklet here. It's an amazing deck. Absolutely amazing deck. I don't recommend decks, so I will leave it at that. But just saying, this is the deck, by the way. So, you are Kaitiaki, guardian of the divine feminine. Your relationship with Mother Earth, Papatuanuku, is sacred, empowering, and healing. You are destined to become more spiritually intimate with her, sharing in her creative potency and wisdom. Lean into her and trust in her support, even as you serve her by courageously voicing truth. She is your great ally, friend, and healer, and as you dedicate yourself to her, she dedicates herself to you. Is this exactly the dynamic we've been talking about, or what? Isn't this the dynamic we've been talking about? And it's exactly this, where you are purposeful, where you dedicate yourself to what is true for you, voicing your truth. And really how we voice truth in the clearest way is through what we embody, who we are, what we actually think, what we actually do, what we actually choose, what we actually say, how we actually go about things, who we are, and how we live. That is the loudest communication there is. And that communication is one that Gaia, this being that we are a part of, and that manifests, co-creates with us our earthly reality, Gaia wants to take that and wants to run with it and to start manifesting a whole host of new and higher experiences to match you. So your intention, that reaching higher, it will be matched externally in co-creation with Gaia and the universe. That's November. That is, Spirit is saying, the beginning. It's only a beginning. It only can be a beginning, because this is the kind of dynamic that is not going to end. And you have prepared for it. You've been attuning yourself for it. You've been working your energy for it. And it is here now. So that was it for the energy. Now let's go deeper, and we're going to look at some main themes for us to think about, work with, consider, adopt, embrace in November. As for main themes, Spirit has three. We have diligence, we have passion, and we have courage. So those are going to be the main ways in which to work the energy, apprehend it, relate to it, because sometimes we need different things, right? Sometimes we need to engage and we need to be in it. Sometimes we need to immerse ourselves and really just feel into things. Sometimes we need to look a little bit from afar and and to get a sense of things before we go into it, right? So there are different levels, and that's also what this these themes speak to, that there are different ways. And I really do feel like there's going to be one that's going to be more or less prevalent for each and every single one of us, and then the others are going to be less prevalent, and that's okay. That's part of the journey also, right? So we have for diligence, Daidiri, hearing truth. Love it. We have Estanatlehi, turquoise changing woman. This is for passion. Yay! And the turquoise changing woman, I tell you, spirit, good job. And finally, we have courage. What must be shall be. Love it. Okay. The idea hearing truth is to do exactly what she's doing. Close our eyes, hear the truth. But what I'm getting is that there are situations and circumstances where we have been struggling, and again, in these areas where we've been moving through a lot of purification. Part of the purification is to meet stagnation. It is to meet things that are not working because they really are intended to work at a higher frequency, at a higher energy flow level, a higher level of energy flow in you and in your life and between you and the universe. And so now that you're coming into a space where you've purified and elevated your energy, you're going to start hearing new things, and you're going to get a lot more clarity about how to go about things. We talked about this a lot in the, I believe it would be the Sun in Scorpio video, maybe the eclipse. I think it's the eclipse. Yeah. The eclipse in Taurus. And it makes sense. That's kind of the way forward now for quite a while. But we were talking about how the way matters. It matters so much how we do things. And that's what diligence speaks to. Diligence is about doing things in the right way, dotting your I's, crossing your T's. It's about putting a lot of effort, a lot of thought, a lot of presence into how we go about things, and making sure that we show up to the best of our abilities. Nothing more, but certainly nothing less, right? We're not being asked to show up with perfection, to embody perfection in every single moment and everything that we do. That's perfectionism. That's not it. But we are being asked to do the best that we can. And so reaching higher in that sense starts, Spirit is saying, by reaching higher within, by doing everything that we can do in a certain situation, in a certain circumstance. And that does include receiving knowledge, perspective, insight from really ourselves from within, where we notice it ourselves, but also from spirit. It could come through in messages. It could also be feedback from other people, feedback from a situation. But there is here some truth that's going to be coming in about how we were doing things in a misaligned way before. And it makes sense because we were approaching it from a lower vibration, from a lower frequency, from a lower energy flow, right? And that makes perfect sense. So there has to be the willingness to listen and the willingness to be diligent. It's a matter of good faith, Spirit is saying, right? If you want the universe to come in with everything that it has and to throw it at your situation, your circumstance, your issues, whatever you are working on, then in balance, it makes sense that you do the utmost that you can do, that you bring the utmost that you have, bring your A game. That would be the first theme. And then there are lots for us to learn about what our A game is. Just had some insight today. So maybe there are some things we really thought we were bringing our A game, but actually, there's a little bit of this, maybe a little too much whining, maybe a little too much resistance, maybe a little too much doubt, maybe a little too much hesitation, maybe a little too much attachment, maybe a little too much fill in the blank in your situation and circumstance. So there has to be the willingness to listen in order to improve the diligence. And that's part of the diligence. Willingness to listen, to take in feedback, because the most important thing is to do the best that we can in this situation or circumstance. Secondly, we have passion. with Estanat Lehi, turquoise changing woman. And I love this because turquoise changing woman is about the nature of change and how we embody that change. And there's a description in the text about how turquoise changing woman is continually walking in a specific direction. I believe it's the west, the setting sun. So she walks in the west and she wastes away and then she rises in the east. And it's just that continual movement. And it is about how when we're talking about passion, there is some change and some transformation in the personality I'm getting that is going to need to happen. There are some things in the personality. So this would be our psyche, this would be our ego, this would be so how we think and feel about things, our explanations and interpretations of ourselves and reality at the psychic level and psychological level. And then at the level of the ego, it's our approach, it's our strategies, how we go about things, our methods, and the outcomes that we do manifest, that we want to manifest, that we're seeking to manifest, and so on and so forth. So all of those levels are going to need to give way and to change in order to match the energy and what's coming in. So we were just talking about how the way matters so much, right? And diligence, which is giving us the ability to do things in the right way. Well, here at the level of passion, we are talking about something that really is centered in the heart, passion and a drive and a will and our intentions and our values and what matters the most for us, what we're passionate about, what we really care about, what we really want to manifest in this world, our ambitions, our priorities, right? All of that is at the same level of our passion and lives there, that real true will within us. This is what I want. This is my desire. This is what I'm going to create, right? So that dwells there. But then we have to manifest it and we have to bring it into the world. And again, if we were aligned, there would be no issue. But most of us are not going to be aligned. And so, per definition, Spirit is saying, per definition, we're not going to be aligned because we've changed and we've evolved. And so, this is about bringing into our thoughts, into our feelings, into our approaches, an understanding of us that is a little less fixed. Again, changing woman, that turquoise changing woman. And turquoise is also divine creativity. Divine creativity wants to work with us and through us to co-create awesome things. Well, that means that some things are going to get changed along the way. Some things are going to have to give way. It can't be exactly how we thought or feel that it should happen, right? It can't be how we usually do things because we're not spirit. It's a basic partnership aspect. It's a basic partnership thing, except it's happening inside of ourselves and inside of the part of ourselves that we tend to identify with the most, our personal self, our human self, and yet needing to change at that level. And spirit is saying it's more than just needing to change because we're dealing with universal energy, love energy. We have to love the change. Oh, I can let go. I can be a little less controlling. I love that. That actually happened to me today because I had planned my work day in a specific way, and then something happened and I realized like, oh, I need to postpone it and do it later and just push back my whole workday. But I planned it in a specific way, in such a way that sounded so beautiful to me. It was going to be so perfect. It was going to work out for this and this and that. And so I realized I need to push it back. And I just went like, oh, I got frustrated and irritated. And then actually I realized, wait, it's so much better. I just didn't realize how it was so much better. And when I realized how it was so much better, I learned to love it. I came into a place like, wow, I really love this. But in order to love it, I have to see it. I have to give it space to show itself to me. How does this want to happen now? How does Spirit want to co-create this with me now? And to allow, again, my explanations and interpretations, methods, outcomes, allow that to get pulled back a little into the background. It doesn't have to disappear. We don't have to let go 100%. We just have to create space for something else to come in, and then there can be a synergy. There can be an alchemy where the two start to work together and it brings a different outcome. Fundamentally, the elements of how I had planned my day ended up the same. I still am doing this video. I still am wearing this outfit, this and that, right? But it just happened in a different sequence and with a different outcome on the other side at the end of this video than I had initially planned because it's later, right? So I'm gonna end this video, do something else. Before I was gonna end the video and do this other thing. It doesn't fundamentally matter. but I had planned my day. And so it's a small example, but imagine it's something greater, how you thought your career was going to work out, how you thought your marriage was going to unfold, how you've been raising your kids, who you thought your kids were going to be, or how you are envisioning your life purpose and pursuing it in the world. Those are bigger things. And it hurts. It can hurt to give up at that level, right? The ego is really, really good at causing a sense of suffering. And so it's very important to consciously work it and to develop enough uh, centering in passion. And our passion is our love activated. So to be so passionate, what matters the most? What matters the most is getting the video done. How? Right? What matters the most? What are you the most passionate about? And to want it so much, to have so much desire for it, to have your intentions be so strong, and for you to value your pursuit, your goal, your choice so much that you're willing to allow things to unfold in a slightly different way. That was a really, really lovely energy. I hope you can feel it. And finally, we have what must be shall be, courage, courage, courage. And the word is saying, look, at the end of the day, what must be shall be. So this energy is not going to help you to co-create anything that's not good for you, that's not good for other people, that is not intended to be in this world. It is what is of the highest grade. I'm saying, like, when you have drugs and it just says like 100%, even just oil, like 100% olive oil, something like that. It's like that grade, 100% pure. It's 100% pure manifestations, your alignment, 100% pure alignment. And so it's going to take courage to step into those kinds of spaces, because however much you think you know where you're headed and what you're going to create and what it's going to take, it's going to take more. It's going to take more. And for the very simple reason that you've been changing, you've been growing, you've been evolving, you've been expanding. So you're bigger today than you actually know yourself to be. And so what you have in mind is bigger than you can conceive of, because you just don't have the capacity for it here and now. And that's okay. It will be. It must be, because it is in alignment with your truth, with the work that you've been doing, and it's in alignment with what Spirit wants to co-create here on the planet. So trust in that and be courageous. Move forward. And especially if you're being guided in a way where you think it's taking you away from what you want to create, where, Spirit gives you a guidance, for example, or an event comes in and you're like, oh my God, this is ruining everything. I thought we were co-creating, but actually it's going to ruin everything. Have courage and really trust. Stand strong, stand still, stand in it, and allow things to unfold. Because ultimately, again, what must be shall be. So it's like you're getting this universal guarantee. We are going to co-create this. You're going to co-create this with the universe. But it takes you showing up and staying there. Even when things get wild, and they will get wild, and they will especially get bigger and brighter and more dynamic, maybe also faster than what you had intended, maybe slower than what you had intended. But have the courage to stand there, to stand in your passion, right? So the diligence to be willing to do it the right way. And then you have the passion to focus on what matters most, so that you can allow for small divergences in how things unfold. And finally, the courage to stand in it, to keep going, and to not give way no matter what happens, no matter what seems to be going wrong, because ultimately what must be shall be. So you will get there, but you need the courage to stand strong and to basically see it through and see how it ends, right? See how the story ends. Even if you think it's taking a wrong turn, don't change the channel. Be courageous, stand in it, and see it through. So that was it for the main themes. And now Spirit actually has some more specific advice for us. So the bits of advice are quite straightforward. It is trust and care, which I really liked. Actually, it was very kind of direct. Okay, trust and care. So let's see how Spirit wants to talk about those two elements. We have a card for each. Yeah, I feel like Spirit just wants to get like advice. Boom, boom. Let's get through it. We have got trust, Quente, sweet paradox of empowering grace. Oh my God. And finally, we have abuela medicine, remedy of the grandmothers. This is care. Oh, ancestral energy showing up again. So trust, sweet paradox of empowering grace. A paradox is when two opposing things seem to be happening at the same time, right? Things that normally seem to exclude one another and yet both are happening at the same time. I cannot think of one because I'm channeling. So that would be a paradox. I have access to universal intelligence, but I can't think of a paradox. There you go. Now we have Quentin. This card talks about how when you're working with love energy, there are unforeseen twists and turns. And again, there's a different logic at play that is unfolding. And look how she's closing her eyes and connecting to it from within. And the message has to do with how sometimes when you think you're the farthest away, you're actually the closest. And that's a message in the card. And the advice is that to trust that because you don't see, you don't have the perspective from spirit, you have to trust in what spirit can see and what spirit can know. And that requires, when you see the hummingbird here, the hummingbird is actually a representative of a very high spiritual vibration, because it is a being, an animal that has a mutation that allows it to breathe oxygen at higher levels where the oxygen is more rarefied. So the hummingbird didn't give up on living at those higher levels where it also finds its food. It mutated itself, it changed itself in order to be able to dwell in those high levels. And that's what spirit is saying. There is the need to adapt and to change. When you have these kind of frequency shifts, you need to adapt, and it takes some time, or rather not necessarily time, but space, a process. There's a process by which you can adapt. You could adapt like this, but then you have to have the process inside to have that happen, right? And the process is very much through this dynamic of trust, because you're now operating, and you're going to be operating at such a high level where there are so many convergences, so many things are happening, and it's not always going to be linear, and it's not always going to make sense, and you're not always going to have the time to calculate everything and to keep up with everything, especially coming from a space of such passion and needing courage and, again, diligence. It really is about the way, as we were saying, more than about the specifics. And the way very much is about trust, and trusting in the way, trusting in the conscious way, trusting in love, trusting in integrity, trusting in truth, and so on and so forth. So that in this moment, I don't have time to figure out everything that's going to happen. So I'm not sure how to respond, but love, what's the most loving thing? Let's do love. Let's do truth. Let's do passion, right? And to trust in that, in those fundamental ways, because that's how we function at that higher level. It's not going to be the rules, the logic. Give me a moment, I'm going to think it out, and I'm going to know exactly what to do. You're out of those levels, right? You're in a space with more rarefied air. It's rarer, and fewer people function like this. But you certainly have been doing your work. You've been creating that metaphorical mutation inside of you to be able to live like this. And it's now here. And the paradox of sweet empowering grace is that this way of living is right here. It's not that far. And the manifestations that follow, all of the things that you've been working towards, they're going to follow. But you can feel like you're the farthest away. You can feel like things are the least put together and the least ready for something amazing to come in. And all of that is just going to be your old perspective trying to break in through your current reality. So trust, 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 trust. Trust in you, trust in your journey, trust in your experiences, trust in your truth. And above all, of course, always trust in spirit. With that, we have care, Abuela medicine. This is I forget, actually. Let me look at the booklet. Let's look at the booklet. Yes. Because I have an idea, but I don't feel like that's it. Grandmother, taking care of the body, really taking care of herself, but let's look at it. Believe in the formidable power of healing, of the transformation that it can provide for all aspects of your being and your life. Yes, medicine comes in many forms from Great Spirit to facilitate healing of body, of mind, and of soul, whether it is the correction of unhelpful habits of thought, guidance for the practical whether it is the correction of unhelpful habits of thought, guidance for the practical steps to resolve a physical imbalance, or deep soul healing that frees you into fulfillment of your divine potential, heal. There is no limit to what can be healed through grace. A current of divine energy is flowing to you and through you now. Open yourself up to participate in a beautiful healing transformation. And can the congregation say amen? Oh my God, this is so beautiful. And this is exactly it. And the message is that's what care is. Spirit is like, listen, be very honest with yourself, be very present in yourself. Whatever you care about, wherever your heart is going, whatever, again, is showing up as it's important to me and matters to me, it's my priorities, it's my intention, it's what I want to create in the world, then care about that and keep caring. And don't worry about appearances. Don't worry about what you think is possible or potential, right? Possibilities, probability, what can happen. Forget all of that. Spirit can heal anything and everything, and this is the kind of energy. And maybe it won't be healed today. Maybe it will take a while. That's fine. Keep caring. Stay put. Stay in the situation. Stay in the circumstance. Don't give up. This is not a month to be giving up. However things are happening, and I do see some redirections and things being moved around and a lot happening energetically. So it's easier to lose touch in these kinds of energies and to think, oh, maybe it's not going to work out. Maybe let me do something else. Maybe no, it can be healed. And so that's what Spirit wants you to remember, to kind of have in the back of your mind whenever you come to a point where you just want to give up on something this month, want to let it go. Just think to yourself, is it because I think it can't be healed? Is it because I think it can't be fixed? Is it because I think it is worthless? And then know that no, in this energy, in this dynamic, it can be healed, it can be fixed, it can be uplifted if you will reach higher. And the reaching higher in this month, in those kinds of dynamics and spaces and interactions and experiences, reaching higher is going to be to care and to just allow ourselves to care and to keep caring. And Spirit is saying, if you care and you just keep your caring there, you don't pull it out, you don't do anything more than just to care, you're calling in love energy, you're calling in energy. That's the power of your heart, is to care. That is one of the superpowers of your heart. So don't shut it down. Don't turn it off. Really relish in it and allow it to flow freely. Care, care, care. Divine support and help will follow. So love, that was it for the advice. Now we're going to do the wrap up. So to wrap up this video, Spirit really wanted me to talk about the experience aspect, right? How do we move into this and in the month of November? And I think it's very important to go back to that notion of reaching higher. And the advice or the perspective would be to look at one area in your life in particular and to go into that area, bring trust, bring care, and also decide what it's going to look like. What is it going to look like for me to reach higher in this situation, this circumstance, this month? And then see and watch how Spirit is helping you, is meeting you, is helping you to improve, progress, elevate. It's just lifting you up, co-creating bigger, better, and truer with you. And so for my part in this month of November, I've really realized how much my energy levels affect my reality. And I don't mean energy levels in terms of vitality. I mean energy like from within, right? And especially as a transformer of energy, and how much that affects my outcomes and really my moments, my experiences, my whole day. And I've decided to become so much more conscious in November about energy and how it comes in and out, and how much energy I'm putting into things and how much energy I'm getting back out of things, and to be very, very aware of energy expenditures, right? So to avoid drain. And again, I don't just mean vitality, I mean like inside, when I feel like I can't be bothered, I don't have the strength, when irritation starts showing up, when frustration starts showing up, or at least shows up easier, then I know that I just don't have that strength to remain calm and remain at peace and dwell in my baseline and in where I thrive the most. And so I've learned that about myself in October, and I really want to do more about that in November. And so my reaching higher in November is going to be to make sure that I do what I need to do diligence, do my own due diligence so that I can stay in a space of strength, in a space that is in alignment with my values and who I want to be and how I want to lead my life in every single moment, which is from a space of strength and wherewithal and so on and so forth. So that is what I'm going to put first and foremost center in the month of November. So what is yours? And I would invite you to write it down in the comments, write it down on a piece of paper if you really want to keep it to you, but put it in writing, put it in form, bring it through so that spirit knows where to meet you and you know where to meet spirit. You could put a reminder on your phone for December 1st, right, or November 30th rather, to still be in the energy, but to put a reminder of where you want to be and where you want to go so that you're really consciously working this energy. And so many of you, you have your own methods, you have your own ways. Apply those methods, apply those ways. This is energy to take on, to engage, and to start working with to get where you want to go, to co-create with spirit. So I invite you to do that. I'm sending you lots of love, wishing you all the best, all of it. And my love, I wish you a beautiful, purposeful, fulfilling, truthful, and aligned month of November. And I hope to see you around the channel during the month. Lots of love. And also, by the way, I did post a pick a card reading where there are 6 different dynamics for energies in November if you would like a more personalized approach. That it came out at the same time as this video, so that might serve you, right? And that will also be a kind of timeless energy if you came to this video at a later time. Now that's definitely it. Lots of love. Wishing you all the best. See you around. Bye.